Welcome to the May edition of our ERP call. We have two great presenters today. Before we get into that, I want to share with you the results of a survey that we put out after the last couple of calls. Got some really helpful feedback from folks, and as a result, we're going to make some changes. So let me share with you. I've pulled out a couple of the questions that I thought were particularly interesting for folks might want to know on this call. So the first one was, we're getting good feedback from our survey. We're getting good feedback on the call in general. So really pleased to hear that folks are finding the call valuable. It was really interesting to me to see why are folks turning up. We have such a community presence on these calls, which I love. And I wanted to check, why are we actually here? But we're finding that the majority of folks are here to learn about the product. So I love that because, that's such a big part of the content of this call. This is Juliet, my goddaughter, hiding in the background, if anyone's interested. Okay, so a couple of other things. What are folks more interested in, the product sessions or the non-product sessions? Because as we know, we have a real mix. And it was really cool to see that a majority of folks think they're equally important. So we'll continue to prioritize doing a mix of content. Do you find the details about upcoming events actually helpful? A resounding yes, so that's great. We're not going to cut it, but what we are going to do is change up the format a little bit. Thanks, Sebastian. And then finally, would you like to see more Microsoft speakers presenting? The answer was yes. So we're going to take that into consideration. One of the other questions was, would you want to see Microsoft speakers presenting on every call? The feedback was not quite. Could we do a little bit less frequently than that? So we'll continue to prioritize that going forward, but it's not going to dominate. So a handful of changes that we're making as a result. We're flipping the format. So that means we're going to put all the event details at the end. We had feedback from a handful of folks who said that information is really helpful, but I'd rather we dive straight into our speakers and then afterwards talk about the event, so that if folks aren't interested in that, they can dial off at that point. So we'll do that. Another thing we heard was, please get us a copy of the presentation. So it's a struggle to share PowerPoint slides, as we all know, but we're going to share PDFs of all the presentations after the call. We'll have a healthy mix of Microsoft and community speakers, and we'll continue to have a mix of the great product and non-product topics that folks have brought as ideas for our calls. And one other thing I want to call out was, there was a request for more information about how does this actually then go with the customers? And I appreciate that, it's a lot of that content is NDA, but I think there's a capacity here for future sessions when people are presenting to say, this has then been my experience of implementing it. This has been my experience of selling it. And I think there's a way to do that that doesn't require you to name customer names. So that's something that we'll be encouraging future speakers to bring in. One final thing I want to share, thanks Jonas, is before we jump into speakers, is I put in the survey, does anyone have topics they'd like to present on? And we got some great offers: finance and operations, adjustments using low code, Copilot for Business Central, but we didn't get names and emails for them. So if that was you, please put your name in the chat, because we'd love to hear those topics in future sessions. So with that, the new format is jump straight into speakers, events at the end. Number 6 was you, André. Fantastic. Okay, I will reach out to you. I'm going to hand over to Anna to introduce our two speakers for the day.
Great, thank you very much. I'm walking on the street going back home. So if you hear the voice of others and stuff, that's it.
Your audio is perfect.
Awesome. Okay, so today we have two speakers. They're going to talk about two different topics. I'm really excited for both of the sessions, and I will encourage you to follow them on socials or find them on LinkedIn, or you can connect with them through the chat. So we have first Ramit, who's going to introduce user security in finance, which is a very big topic. And I think it's going to be a lot to learn from everyone. And I am also interested to see if we have any changes with the new LCS PPAC thing. So let's see what Ramit has to tell us. And then we're going to have another session by Jannik that we had a small dry run, and I'm very excited for you to see it. I'm not going to spoil it. So with that being said, Ramit, do you mind taking over?
You are down as a presenter, so you'll be able to, you should be able to just take over sharing the screen.
Super. Thank you, Anna. Nice to see you. And thank you, Lydia. Thank you, Scott. Thank you to everyone from the community team and the audience. Let me share my screen quickly since I have 15 minutes for the slot. So I need to be hurry and I need to cover as much as possible. So let me share. Let me know, Lydia and Scott, when you see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet. Oh, here we go. It's handing over now.
Oh, is it?
It's I think it'll be loading in 1 second.
There it is.
Here we go. Yay.
Perfect. Fire away.
So, but if the lag is there, then I will switch off my camera and then continue the session. So, welcome everyone once again. So, in this session, I will cover this new user security governance, which in the interest of time, I will be able to show you the overview and also will help you to understand what is this, what is a new change in the new user security governance. So, when you talk about new user security governance, this is a product which was acquired by Microsoft last year. If you have upgraded your system to 10.43, you might have seen the new user security governance. From 10.43, it is in preview. But if your version is 10.44, it will be generally available in Dynamics Digital Finance and Operation. Before I deep dive further, I would like to just introduce myself. My name is Ramit Paul, as you know, and I'm a Microsoft MVP in business applications. Now it is AI ERP, and I'm a super user and also the user group leader in Microsoft Dynamics Digital Community.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right. So what I'm going to cover it up in this session, that if you have seen...
Can you please repeat? Yeah.
Okay, maybe I need to switch off my camera, then I think there is a lag.
No, I'm listening you correctly. I don't know. I think it might be someone with a mic on.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll mute them. I think you're doing great.
Okay. I thought it's my issue. Okay, not a problem. Okay, I'm back. So if you can see my slide, as I mentioned, new user security governance is actually a new thing which has come up in 10.43 and from 10.44. This is generally available in the product. So what I'm going to cover it up, like from the feature management, I will also talk about that. So to upgrade or to enable the user security governance, there is a feature called security governance, right? Once you enable it, this all list of features will be available in Dynamics Digital Finance and Operations. And of course, in the interest of time, I will give you an overview. I'll also help you to understand what is this. So if we talk about these features, I will just quickly change my screen to Dynamics Digital Finance and Operations. And once you have enabled the feature from the feature management, this new form called security governance will be available in system administration module. And under this security governance, there are a lot of features, as I mentioned in my slide, like security process role maintain, security analysis, license usage summary, security category, and so on and so forth. So I will start by this temporary role management. So these are all new features. It was never in the 65 finance and operation, a complete new topic, and it is very useful when it comes to maintaining the security or from the audit point of view. So when you talk about temporary role management, what is this temporary role management? assume a user going for a leave, or they are going for some maternity leave, some kind of leave, and the company wants to revoke the access during that period of time, or due to some issue that, or due to some requirement, the user's role has to be changed during the temporary period. Okay. So for that time, if you configure this by the temporary role management, for that time only, that during that temporary period, the role will be switched or the role will be changed. The role you are giving to the user for the temporary period. Example, if I create new, if I just select a user here, and if I select start date and time, like from this 24th, from 12 a.m. to 29, 12 or 30, 12 a.m., this user will have some new set of roles for different reasons. For that, you just need to click on assign roles. You need to select which role you will add. I'll click OK. Not only that, when you are giving these roles, temporary role, you will also be able to see these original roles this user has. So you will have an option that whether you want to merge this temporary role with the original roles, or you want to replace with the new temporary role with the original roles. If I select replace, so what will happen? If I change the status to planned, and if I click process, and if I go ahead and click on OK, what will happen? During this temporary period, this user role will be changed according to this setup, whatever role I have given here. So in short, this is a temporary role management where you can give the role to the user for a temporary period, and the role will be a temporary. So that is a total automation. You just need to do the setup, and once the time comes, automatically this user's role will be replaced with the original role which was there previously when the temporary role management was not created. This is one feature. Now I will talk about the role audit trail. This is very useful, I would say. I have seen many business organizations or many business or many audit companies came up and said, you have added roles, you have removed roles. Where is the log? Right? So from 10.43 to 10.44, from the GA version, this problem is resolved. So going forward, you will have an option called under users here, role audit trail. If you click on this role audit trail, all the changes is there in this user will be showcased. Like I have added a role called accounts payable manager. I have removed the role called budget clerk from this user. Also, not only that, if you see the internal organization number, if I have changed something, or if you have added the role for that organization, like assign users role, these numbers will be available, or the internal organization name will be available. And the important part, when it was done, who has done it, right? Not only this, it is a user specific form. You can also see this from the role audit trail form, which is under security governance, role audit trail. If you click on this, all the changes for all the users will be available in this form. Very useful, I would say. I will go to the next one, which is security analysis. Security analysis is very, very useful. I have found out personally. So this actually helps to analyze what are the roles available, what are the duties, what are the menu items available against each role, duties, and privileges. Let it come, let it load. So here, role, like example, say this role. What is the sub role? What is the duty? What is the privileges? What is the resource type? Everything is available here, and the read, invoke, correct, user license, all are visible from here. If you want, you can export it and you can analyze it outside the system. Entry points also, it is available from this form, like which role having which privileges, which duty, and which sub roles. User entry points, similarly, you can see that which role is assigned to how many users, which duties assigned to how many users. So if I select product designer, in the right hand side, it will give me which users are assigned to this role. Similarly, if I select maintain import zip postal codes, you will see the user's IDs are in the right side. Entry points history. It is the history if you have done something or done some changes from the user security governance framework, then those histories will be available here. So suppose you have changed some roles, duties, privileges, then it will be available here. But note, if you have changed from the old framework, it will not be available from here. Things to note from here. And next one is security versions. I really loved it. Security version is like, you can, from now on, with this framework, you can create your security version. Say, suppose in your environment, you have standard roles, you have customized roles. You want to create a version for entire, entire versions, like entire configuration of security. So you can select, like, you can create a version, like create a version, just give name and description. That's it. Don't need to give anything. That means till that time, whatever the roles or the role configuration were available, it will be added here. It will be stayed here. Similarly, you can create multiple versions. So what is the use case of it? If you want to compare between these two roles, say suppose in standard V1, I had only standard roles. And in version 2, I have changed something in the role. I want to compare between this version 2 and version 1. Okay, I will select this 2. I will click compare. The system will tell us that what role has been added, if any duties has been added, if any duties has been removed, any changes between these two version will be available in this comparison. Let it come. If you notice that security version 1 in the original version and compared version is version 2, and I have created so difference only. And if you notice in the security version 2, this role has been added. Don't get confused with this new role, because the role I have created with the name of new role. I know it is confusing, but whatever the role, say suppose a custom role you have created called auditor 2. So the auditor 2 role will be added. Similarly, the duty which has been added against this role will be added. Privileges, resource type, everything related to that role will be added here. Okay, so that is the comparison. Most important part, if you want, say suppose you have done some customization in the version 2. Now you want to revert back the whole customization to standard V1. You just need to click on restored version. Whatever changes has been made in this version 2, it will be reverted back to standard V1. That is one of the powerful element, I would say, powerful feature has been added in this framework. And privileged user management. The privileged user management, the concept is very, very simple. Say in old days, an auditor used to sit beside of the user, and then he or she used to audit what the user is doing. Like this is to take some time. I'm just giving you one use case. Going forward, if auditor wants, he can inform the organization, okay, I can't come. However, I want every steps done, or every steps taken during the day by that user. I want to see that. So privileged user management does the same thing. If I click on that privileged user management, and I just need to click new, I just need to select the user. I need to select from date and to date. That means I am giving one permission to the system that whatever during this period, whatever activities are done by this user will be tracked and will be noted down by the system. I'll give description. I will just save it, and I will change the status. Approve. Okay, I will click on process. So you can keep a common batch processing that you don't need to process every time. Once we approve it, the batch from the background will check is there anything approved in this form, and then it will be activated automatically. The same audit log will be added here. So who has done it, when it was done, it will be added. If I change it, I have already done this one. If you see, this is the user log, audit log. I have created this, I have approved it, then it changed to executing, it ended. So here the user log, online time, it will be added here. And important part is download file. I can click on this download file. The file will be generated here in the local file, and then I can share the audit team or the user or the system admin, whoever is maintaining it, they can share this to the auditor. They can either they can see the Word document step by step, or they can run in the system what the user has done. They can note down whether any activity which is against the audit policy. So step by step process, whatever activity has been done by that user during that time will be tracked, will be updated in the file, and it can be reviewed later. License usage summary. It is a new one, I would say. This is still in preview. So it actually helps to see the license usage in the Dynamics Institute of Finance and Operation, the overall applications. Let it come. So if you notice from this screen, you will be able to see all the users available in FNO, and what is the telemetry ID, licenses, what licenses it is there, what is the license type, which is base or attach, and covered entitlements, remaining entitlements, and SQ name. If I select any other user, then it will be changed. SQ name, operations, which SQ it is there, what are the entitlements, and also the securable, the menu item display, and the AOT level, AOT name. Also the access level, entitled, not entitled, will be updated here. Similar part, user role licenses. Same thing, but it will be with the user role licenses. Like if I select this, what are the role available and which license it is consuming. And role license, like there will be no users, similar part, but there will be no users. Based on the role, it will give us the summary, like which AOT name, which role description, SQ name, entitled, and all. Similarly, below, menu item action, AOT name, access level will be updated here. Till now, we have seen user role licenses, and duty licenses. Now, so same thing, what we have seen here, it is with the duty and privilege licenses. So with every element like role, user role, duty, privileges, the license usage summary will be updated here. Next one, I will go to the, in the interest of time, I will hand it over. But before I hand it over to next speaker, I will just show you user activity as aging. This user activity aging is actually the how many time the user has opened the system and which license it has been used. So if I just select the original user, what we have. So these are the users in my system who is having license, and license reminds me of the license enforcement, which will be there soon. So here, when this user has last logged in, this is the aging bucket. How many times he has logged in or she has logged in 20 days or 45 days or 60 days count, 90 days count, and 180 days count. This aging bucket is configurable. If I just go to the security governance setup parameters, under this, you will see the user aging periods. So you will have period 1, period 2, period 3, period 4, period 5. So you can change this to as per your need, like 15, 30, 45, 60, and 90. I will save it. If I now go to the user activity aging, you will notice the aging bucket has been changed. What I have updated in the parameter, like 15 days, 30 days, 45, 60, 90. It was previously 20, 45, or 60, whatever like that. I mean, something like that. That is how the user activity aging works. I would end up, but before I end up, I have another thing which I have mentioned here, security process role maintain, since it required a long time to explain, but I will explain. Security process role maintain form is a new, new form or new way of creating roles. Like example, from the task recorder, you can, I mean, whatever the activities user is doing, you can ask them to do the activity and record the steps using the task recorder. You can import the task recorder, and from there the role can be created. Since it requires a lot of time, I'm not going into this. And before ending up, these features are all perfectly demonstrated or updated in the Microsoft documentation. However, if you want to see a detail level demo, I can share that there are a lot of contents, like André he's here. He created a great content. If you want to take a look, you can take a look. And if you want to see some video demo, I have created a security list. Security governance framework user list. A video list, I would say, a playlist. You can have a look and you can learn from it. I think I have lost 15 minutes. In the interest of time, I will hand it over to Anna. Anna and Lydia.
Hello. Thank you so much for that. I saw that there was a lot of interaction in the chat. Sorry, I'm climbing the mountain to get to your place. Thank you for that. Also very much appreciated the call out to André, who creates amazing content. And we all saw that you had his tab open, so we thought, he deserves the mention. Great. Lydia, I don't know if you want to say something before we jump into Jannik's presentation.
I'm excited for you to see this presentation. Jannik reached out to say that the company, you go back, that the company that he works for has a free tool that we can all take advantage of. So we wanted to tread carefully with this one, because as we know, this is not a call for promotion, it's a call for education. But given that this is a free tool, we thought we'd give it a try and see how folks respond to it. And Anna's already seen the content and thinks it'll be beneficial. So excited for us to try this out.
It's going to be really exciting. So please, Jannik, don't feel the pressure. Thank you so much. I hand it over to you. Just take control of the screen, please.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. So as Ramit said, we have 15 minutes to cover a lot of ground, and I will do that. I hope you can all see my screen. So welcome. Thank you so much for having me again. I will use those 15 minutes, the next 15 minutes, to guide you through our advanced multi-company solution. And this is a free spin-off of our AMCS module. And first of all, my name is Jannik Schüller, and I'm a pre-sales solution specialist here at Avantiico. And as many of you here on the call, Avantiico is an exclusive Microsoft partner. And in the recent 5 to 10 years, what we have specialized on is large, complex FNSCM installs. And they had to happen a lot of different legal entities. So we saw a lot of issues and some gaps within the D365 standard. And around all of this, we have created our own IP. And this is our advanced multi-company solution. And the AMCS Lite version is a free part of this. So today, what I'd like to showcase to you is automated import functionalities of journals that we think you as a partner in terms of implementation, and then also for all of your live customers, is going to be greatly beneficial. So we would love to extend our expertise, that we have accumulated over the last decade or so, to the broader Microsoft community. We really hope that those functionalities will be useful for your clients and for your implementations as well. All right, so this is kind of the core concepts of our solution. Our general goal is to reduce the manual workload for you as an implementer, but also for the accounting team that you are implementing for. And as I said again, we're automating imports of journals into many legal entities. So basically, with one click, you can import, transfer, and validate, and also submit them to your local workflow or global workflow of all your journals. At the core of this solution sits our so-called super journal. This is a global staging table that sits on top of all of your legal entities. So you can access it through all of your legal entities and see a log of all of your imports. And from there, you have a centralized kind of UI where you can access all of the imports. Along those lines, we also introduced some enhanced import validations. So I'm not sure how familiar you are with DMF, but sometimes it's kind of tedious to go through and find a specific error of an import. So if you do have thousands of lines and there is one error in there, the import will actually fail. With our solution, you can basically see where the error is, and you can fix it within the interface, or you can also fix it within the Excel import. We introduced some simplified postings, meaning that you can post journals with basically one click. And I'll go kind of through the actual process of this and the different steps that you can implement. And we also have a global workflow functionality. So you can either use that, or we also respect the local workflow that you have or that you will install, that your customer will install on a legal entity level. The time to value is pretty quick. The 4 to 8 hours that are posted right here is maybe even a little exaggeration. I've set it up before, and it took me about 45 minutes to an hour. And we do have lots of supporting documents that I'll share after this call as well. So you have all the notes and documents that you can get. All right. Before we hop into the demo, I kind of wanted to maybe reiterate why the solution would be beneficial for you. And again, I don't want to sound too salesy, like Lydia said. What we want you to gain out of this is, to make use of our expertise, make use of this standard tool that you can just download instead of maybe configuring something or writing an extension and so on and so forth. So you can make use of a better, faster, and less complicated version than the standard D365 journal import framework. What we think this will actually be useful for you as well is for your data migration as well. So what we see is that for if it's many legal entities or even a couple of legal entities, you always will have to import some historical data, and this will actually help you quite a lot as well, we think. And then, of course, live customers, if you do have some customers that do have multiple legal entities, this will be quite beneficial for the accounting teams as well. To kind of wrap it up, why should you install it? I think it's a free version. So this is a big value add for you without any cost. You don't need to customize anything in particular. It's a very easy install, and we will, as I said, give you all the supporting documents that you will need, and it will add value very, very quickly. Okay, with that, let's jump into the demo, into the system, and let me see if you can see all of this. You can see your normal demo environment. And one key aspect of this solution is that it sits in your user interface as a module. So if you got your attention to the left side, what you can see is the advanced multi-company solution. And if I click on here, I can see different menu items. The menu items that is expanded is for the AMCS Lite version. And if I click on Ledger Journal Imports, it will actually guide me to my global staging table. So what I can see here is all the journals that have been imported across all of my legal entities. And maybe just to guide your attention up here, currently I'm in my USMF legal entity. This might be important for later whenever we can jump in between legal entities fairly quickly. All right, so we do, of course, support batch imports as well, but for manual, for demo purposes, I will go through a manual process right here. So I can come up here and import a GL file. Part of the setup is creating journal names. So I select my journal name, have a description in here, and then it comes to automatic processing. I have some default behavior that I can set up in the back end. But basically, I have 5 different options of posting my journals. The first one is an open stage, where I can basically just import it into my global staging table. Nothing else happens. The data is just in D365, basically. The next step is a check lines step. And this is a first validation where the system goes through checking different things like, are my dimensions correct? Is everything filled out? And it will actually shoot you an error message if something is missing. Now, in this step, no journal has been created yet. Once I click on transfer lines, the journals that, or the data that has been imported will then be transferred to its respective legal entity. And by then, the journal has been created. We can run through some validation. This is an optional step, or I can directly jump to post journal. So the process, if I click post journal, the process will actually go through all of those steps, still give me an error line and not post, obviously, if there is an error. But let's see, we will go through checklines first. I can come here, select my file, select this one. And again, as I said, we can have a process now functionally. We can also send it to batch, and we usually get a question of, how much lines can you actually import? The biggest line that we have seen was, I think, around 300,000 lines. It took a little bit. It took about 45 minutes to post all of those, but just to give you kind of a reference on volume. I will process it now. You can also see up here is kind of a warning. It tells me, okay, if you've actually imported this before, do you really want to import it? Yes, I do. And once I do this, it will go through and check all the different lines. And I can see right here, the lines are checked. It did not have an error. And I can go into the details right here. In this Excel file, it seems to have different transactions across different legal entities. It seems like I have my German legal entity right here. And then down here, there is an intercompany transaction between my US company and the German company as well. If all of this is correct, I see there's no errors. I can also see some details in here. But if this looks right to me, then I can go ahead and transfer it. And what I would like to mention here is I do have super rights and super admin in this environment. So I do have access to all of the legal entities. Now, if so we do respect D365 security rules. So if a user does not have access or rights within a certain company, he or she is not able to transfer those lines. So somebody from that legal entity would need to come into the global staging table and create that journal. So we do respect the standard security here. I can transfer these now, and this means all of the journals are created. I can come in here and see the status has changed to transferred. I can click on here and get some more details. And once I click on here, I can actually come down here on details and see that the journal has been created. Now, if I click on Open Journal right here, what actually happens is that the system will jump to my German environment. So right now I'm in the German company, and again, only if I do have access to it. But I can get the details of this journal line and have my normal drill down functionalities here as well. Okay. Now that they're all transferred, I do have two different steps I can take. I can validate it and I can simulate a posting. This is something we just recently added, or I can just go ahead and post it. And again, only if I do have security access here as well. And one thing that I do want to mention again, we do have the possibility to set up a global workflow that sits on top of all of your legal entities, but we also work with your local workflow that is set up within your local legal entity. So once this is submitted, approved, then you can come here or within your legal entity and post it as well. All right, just for references how a arrow looks, I will come in here and upload something that is faulty. So we can take a glance at the error log. And this, is going to be more beneficial if you do have lots of different lines. But you can see I selected status post, but it all still is open, and you can see why, because it still has errors in those right here. Now, if I click on here and click arrows, it will actually tell me what the error is. And the dimension seems to be not correct. So I have different options. I can come in here and change the dimension directly, or I can change the dimension within my Excel sheet, delete this one and correct it in the Excel sheet and upload it from there and post it. So those are the different options that you have. And so this is in short the functionalities that we have. I do have a webinar that is a little bit longer, that's on YouTube, and I will link this as well. And of course, feel free to ask any questions. I know there's probably some in the chat, but I will answer them afterwards. And one more thing before we go. I was too quick to end my screen share. What I would like to highlight again is we do have supporting material out there, a video how to set it up. And then also we do host some free office hours for you to attend to kind of extend the setup functionalities and so on and so forth. So I would love to have your feedback. Are those functionalities that you come across multiple times with new customers? Do you see that? Is this going to be helpful? So I would appreciate your feedback, and I'll also post a link if you want to download it. Go right ahead. We'll also help you set it up.
Yes, please do so.
All right.
We had you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Good. We had people asking in the chat and I answered, but I think the best person to answer is yourself. There are some questions about where to get it and stuff. So if you can drop some links, and also Lydia is going to share the presentation afterwards. But I think that there's someone that would like to say something that she's writing to me on the side. So Nati, can you come on mic and speak, please? Throwing people under the bus.
Sorry, hello. I was telling Anna that I love that that feature. Thanks, Jannik, for showing it. I'll say everything.
Awesome. Yeah, I posted a kind of a link tree with a bundle of different links, and there's a link to our YouTube channel, so you can make sure, and I think Chloe posted the actual video as well. But there's a link to download it directly for the setup and so on and so forth. So also don't hesitate to reach out. After this, I'll go through all of your questions and either shoot you a message or an email after.
Thank you for sharing that. It sounds like it was really valuable for everyone. So I'm really glad about this because I think you shared this in a really awesome way that wasn't a sales pitch, but was really trying to just help folks see. And it sounds like we're getting, enough folks are saying like, this is helpful. So thank you very much. Also, Colin in the chat made me laugh. He says, AMCS is amazing, magic, cool solution. So you can pitch that to your marketing team if you want, I think.
Rebranded.
I have a question for the audience. So that's not so much about your content, but one of the requests that we got in the feedback survey was, can you share the content from the calls? So sharing PowerPoints is difficult, but not impossible. What I don't want to do is share PDF formats and everyone be like, well, that's really not what I needed. I needed this in slide format. So I'd love it if folks had just put in the chat, if having the content is helpful for you, is it only helpful in PowerPoint format? If it is, we will figure out a way to just get offline copies to you via email. So let me know, PDF or PowerPoint in the chat would be really helpful. And what I will do now is I will share my screen one more time. We don't actually have any new events to talk about that we didn't talk about on the last call. So, but I will just bring up so that you can see the events that we talked about previously so that you know they are still available. For anyone who wants to join, who's interested, we're having a Power Apps AMA immediately after this, run by Clay Wesner, who's really senior in the engineering team for Power Apps, and Bryony Wolf, who's head of marketing for Power Apps. So that is coming immediately after this. If you're interested, I can put that in the chat. And things that are coming up. Global AI Tour continues. Microsoft Build is coming up very shortly. I will be there if any folks are attending. Power Platform Community Conference also coming later in the year in October. And then we have here, okay, I'll put Dwayne, could you grab the link to register for the Power Apps AMA, please? For the AMA, you need to register to get the link because it's a Teams webinar rather than a Teams chat. But Dwayne will pop that in the chat and then you are absolutely welcome to join. And then what we can see on screen here is a whole host of community events that are being run as well. So we would love to see you at all of those. And as usual, we will keep you updated on what's happening with the latest events. There just aren't new ones to call out right now. So thank you, everybody, for joining. We will see you. Okay, Lay's not happening. You can dream, but Excel and I spend as little time together, as small time together as possible. Okay, we've set up a whole, I feel like this is a wild crowd today. There's a lot more sass than usual, which I love until you ask me to put something in postscript. Anything else you want to say, Anna, before we dial off?
No, just that André and Lasse together, you have to be really careful, and that I'm going to see them. I'm going to see them soon. So wish me luck.
in 10 days, Anna. Get ready in 10 days.
But yeah, no, nothing else. Just thank you everyone who joined. I'm really looking forward for next edition. We have great presenters as well. And if anyone wants to join or wants to, suggest someone to talk in the call, just write to me or Lydia, and we will both find a way. We're quite booked, but we can make it work.
Definitely.
And yeah, and also thank you to V that's there. There you go. V's over there, and also Dwayne and all the team. Yeah.
I am just trying to find the link for the Power Apps AMA, and I will put it in the chat for anyone who's interested. If you can just hold on for a second.
I shared it. It's there.
Did you? That took
already been shared. It's out there. Yep.
Okay, cool. I thought I clicked on it and it took me to a video instead, but maybe I clicked on the wrong link. So thank you. Let's just double check that works before we dive off. Yeah. Awesome. All right, thanks everybody. We will see you in June. Thanks for our great presenters today. 2 really interesting topics. Ramit, anytime I think of system admin and user licensing, I think of you. So you're clearly putting out a lot of great content on the topic. And thanks everybody for the engagement. This was a really fun call. Have a great day. For those of you who are joining the Power Apps AMA, we'll see you over there in 8 minutes. And if not, we'll see you next month. Thanks everybody.
Awesome.
Bye.
Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Morning.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.